Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Exeter High School for tonight's matchup between the Governor Mifflin Mustangs and the Exeter Eagles. Tonight is a historical night as we are on BCTV for the first time ever, bringing you high school basketball. And as I mentioned, we're here at Exeter High School, and I'm alongside Bruce Badgley. He's got everything going for us as far as covering high school basketball this year via webcasting on LL Hoops and BCTV. Bruce, tell us a little bit about what the goal is here.
Well, we've got a partnership with the Vern Sports Network over at Alvernia University to provide the production facilities or the equipment for us to bring high school basketball to the masses of Berks County. We've been able to partner with BCTV and their 100,000 homes that they're in to make sure that these teams are getting the publicity that they need to. Here in Berks County, we're live streaming as well on llhoops.com, hopefully on bctv.com, and that way the people of Berks County can get to see all the hoops talent that we've got here. We're not only doing games on BCTV, but we're live streaming games throughout the year. We're live streaming games also from Lancaster County as well on llhoops.com. So we're happy to do this. The games on BCTV this year are going to predominantly focus on Section 1. We're going to show Reading High. We're showing Exeter, Governor Mifflin, Muhlenberg. And, we hope that the fans, really like the product that we're, bring to them.
And this is our third broadcast, the first two on LL Hoops. And you and I have had a blast. We've grown together as a broadcast team, and we're kind of getting used to the swing of things here at basketball. I know you've done similar things with football this year, and it's just something new and fresh and exciting to let these kids show their talent to Berks County and beyond.
Well, a lot of the reason why we started doing these games, quite honestly, is so many people come up to me and say, my mother can't get to the game, or I've got people living, outside of Berks County that can't attend the games. And that's really been the beauty of the webcasting. That's really the beauty now of having BCTV cover the games, is that people that have a difficult time getting to the games, whether they're, outside the area, whether they're shut-ins, elderly, that they have an opportunity to see the relatives, to see their family members. A lot of time during the football games, we'd ask people out there, where are you watching? Well, where are you watching tonight, gang? We'd like to hear from you. Tweet us. I'm at Badgley Bruce, and you're the real Hein 57 on Twitter. Also, llhoops.com. Let us know where you're watching this game from. We'd really like to hear from you. We'd like to know, who we're reaching, who we need to, show a little bit more interest, get some more information out there so that the fans of Berks County have an opportunity to see these great teams upcoming.
And a little bit of a unique perspective from Bruce and I. We're sitting in the stands about 10 rows up from the court. We're not courtside. We're bringing you a fan's perspective of what we see on the court, and you'll follow along at home via the television broadcast and the webcast on LL Hoops, depending on what you're watching. We're about 40 seconds away from tip here as the teams break for introductions, and I'm excited to go, Bruce. This is awesome.
It's really incredible, and we'll get the introductions here in a moment, but this has really been great. I can't thank Alvernia University enough for all the support that they've shown. Also, Reading Alloys, who's underwritten the broadcast with BCTV, Daryl Tillman, and his group there with their support of our broadcast. So we can't thank them enough for allowing us the opportunity to bring all these games to the fans.
Yes, thank you to everybody again, and special shout out to the Vern Network, as myself, an alumni of Alvernia, and Dylan and Nick, who are loaning their services to the webcast and telecast tonight. Thank you guys very much.
Now we'll turn it over to the public address announcer for the starting lineups.
Number 13, Bryce Stewart. Number 22, Nicholas Whitman. And number 32, Josh Blair. The Mustangs are coached by Kyle Conrad.
For a second there, James, I thought we had a power failure, but we went through a few of those in football this year, but thankfully I think this is deliberate.
This is a new experience for us, as this is the first time we had the lights turned out for an introduction at a high school basketball game that we've covered. All right, fans, we're going to pledge allegiance to the flag here as we hear the national anthem.
Please move your caps as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
All right, fans, here we go. 3-2 Governor Mifflin takes on 3-1 Exeter. We have a rowdy student section this time around. It was rather quiet at the other games, but these students are really into it, Bruce.
Well, it's always good to see that, and you know, being the first section game, both of these schools are excited. Both teams have a lot to prove. Really, the season starts now, and you know, obviously their quest not only for a section championship, but also to qualify for the Berks County tournament as well. So this is a big game.
And Wesley Murray will battle for the tip here alongside Josh Clare as we're about to get underway here at Exeter High School. And the tip goes to Exeter. And Anthony Wise comes out to get the basketball and bring it across half court for the Eagles. Ball movement key here early on, Bruce. looks like they're looking to slow the pace here or to get the game started.
Yeah, both teams are going to play a deliberate style of offense. Here's Javier in the lane, a little short.
And that'll be Bryce Black bringing the ball up court for the Mustangs as they move it around the perimeter. Down to Nick Whitman in the corner, back out to the point. As Mifflin looking for an opportunity to score here on their first possession. Bryce Stubler gets it off to Bryce Harmon. And over to Bryce Black. The Killer Bees, Bruce.
The Killer Bees, one thing I noticed really fast is that the roster that I got from the basketball team this morning doesn't have the correct numbers, but thankfully you do.
I stole it right from the scorekeeper down on courtside. As Wesley Murray's shot's no good, rebounded by Bryce Harmon. He dishes it off, and it's quickly underneath the basket to Bryce Black, who puts it in for the first points of the game. Mifflin out to the early 2-point lead as Exeter taking their time getting the ball across half court. Here comes Anthony Wise driving down towards the baseline, gets it into Wesley Murray. Murray goes up, and he's fouled in the process by Josh Clare.
Yeah, interesting. Mifflin's putting a little pressure defense on into the backcourt there, but we'll see what Exeter can do to manage that kind of pressure down through the first quarter here.
So Wesley Murray to the line for 2 shots, and his first one is in. Shot number 2 is good, and we have a tie ball game at 2. Here come the Mustangs up court. Bryce Harmon driving the baseline, and he's stuffed there by number 3, Alex Javier, and the ball's loose. Jason Metz gets it and calls timeout.
Wow, kind of surprised something didn't get called there on either a foul or a travel on that play, but smart move there by Exeter calling timeout rather than getting the travel thrown at him there. But, both teams playing a lot of pressure man-to-man to start. Not really unexpected. That's really both teams' style. And, it's going to be interesting to see, like we talk about all the time, valuing the basketball. And, obviously, free throw percentage is going to go a long way to determine the winner of this game.
We've seen 2 very close games, Bruce, with Reading High and McCaskey and Weiser and Muhlenberg. But as the game went on, free throws were made by the winning team and got them the separation they needed to close out the games. And we'll be intrigued to see what happens here in tonight's game. As Exeter inbounds the basketball. Handled by Anthony Wise as Mifflin puts on some pressure. Wise and Metz go back and forth up the court. Finally, the ball across half court to Alex Javier. And the ball poked away by Bryce Stubler, goes out of bounds. It'll remain Eagles basketball.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the tone already. I mean, Mifflin wants to see if these guys can manage the press, and so far it's been very interesting. Exeter really having a tough time getting into an offensive flow.
As Wesley Murray handles out at the point, and driving the lane and fouled is Alex Javier. He'll head to the line for 2. Bryce Black, the guilty party, on the foul.
Yeah, Javier really not known as a dribble driver there, but he made a nice move to the hoop to draw the foul.
The first free throw is no good. 5 minutes, 40 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. As Javier will take his second attempt. And he gets that one to go. 3-2 the score in favor of Exeter. Bryce Stubler brings the ball up court, and a little trap here by the Eagles as it's intercepted by Joe Rohrbach, and he pushes it up court but overthrows Anthony Wise, and it'll be Mifflin basketball.
Yeah, you got to plan to control. Doesn't do you any good if you don't, value that pass after the takeaway.
Good crowd on hand tonight as Stubler brings the basketball up for the Mustangs. He gets it out to Harmon. Back over to Harmon for three, and he's got it.
Exeter kind of backed in there, just kind of daring them to shoot. They took it and, got the tray.
And here come the Eagles up as the ball given back to Anthony Wise. He'll settle and take on Stubler, driving the net. Wise puts it in off the backboard.
Yeah, there's the guy that you're going to see the dribble drive action for Exeter most of the night, Anthony Wise.
We'll keep our eyes on Anthony Wise as Mifflin gets the ball to Josh Clare, who's fouled en route to the hoop.
Boy, everybody kind of went out to the perimeter and left three guys for Mifflin alone under the basket. But a good foul there. Make him earn it.
And Clare will head to the stripe. 5-5 the score here at Exeter High School. Josh Clare off the front of the rim. And we'll see what he can do here with his second attempt. And he makes good on the first miss and puts it in, and Mifflin takes the lead 6-5.
Yeah, I like the full court pressure here.
The Eagles pass the ball through the press, and it's finished off by Wesley Murray from Anthony Wise. As here come the Mustangs back up court. Bryce Black with the ball, throws it across court, almost intercepted, recovered by Bryce Harmon, and he brings it back out, gets it back to Black. As Bryce Stubler passes it over to Bryce Black, who gets it underneath to Josh Clare. And it's blocked by Joe Rohrbach.
Wow, that got the student section, going there. But, good defense there by Exeter. They almost stole the ball a couple times and then, obviously led to the rejection.
Rohrbach with the block of Whitman. As Harmon's attempt is no good, it goes out of bounds. It'll remain Mifflin basketball. Stubler to inbounds for the Mustangs. He gets it out to Whitman, and it's back to Stubler. Clare handles, gets it to Harmon. Harmon dribbling around the point, thinking about driving, gets it off to Stubler. Fakes a shot, gets it off to Bryce Black, and Black drives the lane. Stolen away by Javier, and Javier to the basket, no good. But there's Jason Metz to clean up the rebound.
Good fundamentals there, following, the fast break there. He was all alone to, put the rebound in.
And Exeter extends their lead to 3 points, 9-6 the score. 3 minutes left here in the first quarter. Bryce Black thinks about it, gets it over to Bryce Harmon. Harmon settles it, gets it over to Nick Whitman. And Josh Clare will have the ball. Dribbling around, gets it to Bryce Black for three. No good. Rohrbach with the rebound. Gets it out to Javier, and he'll bring it up the court. Metz with the basketball now. Dishes off to Murray. A lot of patience here as they're looking for a good shot. Metz. I'm sorry, Alex Javier off the backboard.
Did he call bank on that one? But no, that's typical Alex Javier. He's definitely a perimeter jump shooter, or a set shooter there, and that was right in his wheelhouse.
And a nice pass underneath. Bryce Stubler with the basket on a nice feed by Josh Clare.
It's going to be interesting. Mifflin pressuring 94 feet. Obviously, nice layup there. Nice way to beat the press. But, to see what kind of depth, you've got to have some depth to run a 94-foot game for any period of time. So, obviously, the coach must feel that he's got, a few guys he can rotate in to run that kind of defense.
Bryce Harmon for three off the front of the rim. As we haven't had any substitutions yet in this game.
It's still
It's still the first quarter. They're young. Come on.
Here comes Metz down the middle of the lane. He's no good on the layup. And then a foul on the play by Wesley Murray.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, it's nice to see an up-tempo game. I'm really not a fan of the paint-dry offense that you see from now and then here in town. So seeing a 94-foot game, seeing good, strategy to break that press, you really like that on both coaches here.
And right on cue, here comes some substitutions. Cameron Stewart in for Mifflin, and Matt Davidheiser in for the Eagles. As Stubler brings the ball up court for the Mustangs, Mifflin will set up their offense. Claire from the key puts it in for 2. 4-point game.
Can't leave anybody open from the free throw line for that kind of shot. Nice basket.
As here comes Davidheiser. Gets it off to Murray. Murray drives. Gets stopped there by Cameron Stewart. And into the game comes Colin Geringer. Joe Rohrbach to inbound the basketball for the Eagles. He gets it in to Davidheiser. 52 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Kyle Holmes thinks about it, dribbles, and dishes it off to Javier. Joe Rohrbach now with the basketball. Spin move, drives the lane, gets the shot up, follows his shot, gets the rebound, no good on both attempts, and it'll be Mifflin basketball.
Yeah, good looks there, just couldn't get it to fall. 35 seconds or thereabouts left. Let's see if Mifflin goes for the last shot.
Cameron Stewart with the basketball now for the Mustangs. Gets it off to Josh Clare. First shot from the foul line. No good, too strong. And Rohrbach with the rebound. A little bit of pressure here by Bryce Stubler. As Javier now with the basketball gets it off to Davidheiser, knocked away by Cameron Stewart. Right to Javier. 4 seconds remaining. Rohrbach loses the handle, and the ball's loose, picked up by Mifflin, no shot. And we have reached the end of the first quarter. The score, Exeter 14, Governor Mifflin 10.
As the scoreboard goes blank.
They're just testing us here, Bruce. It's
Thank you to Daryl Tillman, Remax of Reading, for the support of this broadcast. Daryl and Lisa Tillman, the Scholastic Sports Realtors. Check them out there at Remax of Reading. All right, on to the second quarter. Another fresh 8 minutes, James. First quarter, I really liked, the action, the up and down action. I think both teams played some good pressure defense, but both teams had some really good strategies to break that press and generate some easy baskets.
Yeah, almost like they were feeling each other out and just getting an idea of how the game's going to go. And it was no pressure before the first timeout. Exeter got a loose ball, called timeout, and then next thing you know, Mifflin brought the pressure, and Exeter brought the pressure themselves at certain moments in the first quarter. It'll be Mifflin basketball to start the second quarter. Score 14-10 in favor of Exeter. Here comes Stubler bringing the ball up court for the Mustangs. He gets it off to Bryce Black, and he gets it out to the point to Cameron Stewart. Gets it over to Bryce Harmon. Back to Stubler. And as they pass the ball around the perimeter, not much movement underneath the basket as Harmon loses the handle but regains it and gets it off to Josh Clare. Mifflin showing great patience here, looking for a good shot as Stubler drives to the foul line, gets stopped, gets it off to Josh Clare, and he'll settle it again. Cameron Stewart now with the ball, gets it off to Harmon. Harmon drives, stopped at the foul line again. Great defense here by the Eagles.
And good patience by Mifflin. Oh, look at that pass! Oh, from the floor, Bryce Stubler, great assist.
Heck of a play there by Stubler to bring this to a 2-point game here early on. As Wise brings the ball up for the Eagles, here's David Heiser. He gets it off to Holmes, drives the lane, and we have a foul called.
I don't think Coach Conrad really agreed with that call, but good pressure defense being played by both teams so far.
Cameron Stewart picks up his first foul of the game as Kyle Holmes set to inbound the basketball, but we have another foul.
Yeah, I think they caught Stubler there in the hold, but got a little aggressive in the out-of-bounds play.
So we'll reset and do it again. As Holmes looks for an open man, throws it deep to David Heiser. Covered tightly here by Bryce Black. Dribbles around, and a push-off there. That'll be an offensive foul.
Yeah, he got a little aggressive with that off arm, and the ref's going to call that every time.
Back into the game for the Eagles, Alex Javier. As Stubler will inbound the basketball to Bryce Black, who gives it right back to Stubler. And here we go for another Mifflin possession. Mifflin likes to use the big guys out at the point to distribute the basketball to the guards moving around the court.
Yeah, I've been impressed with Mifflin's offensive movement all game long so far, and that's why they've got the advantage. Here going into the second quarter.
Stewart will go to the line.
Excuse me, Exeter was hit fine.
And he misses his first free throw as Wesley Murray will check back in for Exeter. 6:25 here in the second quarter. Stewart's second shot is up and no good again. Rebounded by Kyle Holmes, who gets it off to Anthony Wise. Makes a spin move around Stewart, and he's up court. Dishes it off to Jason Metz, back to Wise. And Exeter will settle. Wise dribbling around. He's got Murray at the point. He's going to take the three. The big man takes the three, no good. And Holmes fighting for the rebound, doesn't get it. And the ball's still loose. Holmes with a great effort there on that play for the Eagles.
Yeah, and he was on the line. Unfortunately, he's going to give the ball back to Mifflin. But, both teams out there scrapping. You got to like that. Every 50-50 ball, everybody's going after it.
And here comes Mifflin. Harmon now with the basketball, driving towards the baseline. Gets it off to Josh Clare, dribbling around at the foul line. Gets it out to Bryce Black. Harmon now with the basketball. Taking on Alex Javier. Dishes it out to Josh Clare. And the Exeter Eagles have had the answer. A couple of loose balls have led to some easy Mifflin points, but the effort is there for both squads. Into Josh Clare, and we're going to have a holding foul here on Kyle Holmes.
Yeah, Clare had good position underneath. When you get the guy on your hip like that, there's not much he can do.
Checking back in is Joe Rohrbach. Stubler gets it into Bryce Black, who takes a jumper, and it's no good, a little short. Rebounded by Rohrbach. He gets it off to Alex Javier. And Javier calls out a play, and we'll see what the Eagles have in store for us this possession. Wise with the shot off the front of the rim. Loose ball picked up by Bryce Stubler. He gets it out to Bryce Harmon. He'll bring it across half court and take on Joe Rohrbach. Now Bryce Black with the basketball up to the point to Cameron Stewart. Stubler settles it as Harmon's at the point now, dribbling around. And Harmon against Rohrbach here again, as the Eagles show them a zone defense here, and they're playing it very well as the pass goes off the knee of Bryce Black, fumbled around, and then kicked out of bounds by Wesley Murray.
I can't say enough about the defensive effort by both teams as well as the patience on offense. These guys are working for good shots, setting screens. That's very good.
Here's Stubler to inbounds. It gets it in right away to Bryce Black. And Mifflin sets up their offense. Mifflin cutting to the basket a little more frequently than they started, as Harmon with a nice behind the back and shot, and he makes it for 2 points.
Sweet pull-up mid-range jumper there.
Very smooth by Bryce Harmon, as Anthony Wise brings the ball up for the Eagles. Great effort there, splitting the defenders. And then here's a steal by Wise to get the ball back for Exeter. Javier with the basketball now taking on Stubler. He gets it off to Jason Metz. He drives, gets it off to Rohrbach. Rohrbach with the quick shot and 2 points.
Yeah, good offensive movement there. Nice little shot off the baseline.
Rohrbach with a good start to the game, a couple of baskets, and a big block shot into the student section. But he picks up the foul there, and that'll be the 5th foul here on the Eagles. 6th foul on the Eagles. That'll be Rohrbach's first foul of the game, as Cameron Stewart will inbound the basketball for the Mustang. Stubler to Harmon. Harmon underneath to Cameron Stewart. As Mifflin moves the basketball again. There's Nick Whitman. Loose ball and a foul on the play. Looks like it's going to be Jason Metz with the foul.
Yeah, trying to go for that 50-50 ball. Just got a little bit too aggressive there, but you can't fault the effort.
That will put Mifflin in the bonus, so they'll shoot 1-1 here, as Nick Whitman will head to the free throw stripe. He's got the first basket, as Mifflin inches closer to Exeter. 16-15 the score, 3 minutes left here in the second quarter. Second free throw is good, and we have a tie ball game again here in the early going.
Yeah, I mean, neither team's really been able to, extend any kind of a lead. Patient offense, good defense, good game so far.
As Wise brings up the basketball, he gets it off to Alex Javier. Javier going up against Bryce Black. As Murray comes out to the point for a pick. Pass goes to Murray, drives, gets hung up with Cameron Stewart, tries to get the basketball into the net, no good. When the ball goes out of bounds, it'll stay with the Eagles.
Yeah, Exeter has definitely taken the emphasis toward the hoop here in the last few minutes rather than the perimeter. They're going right at the bucket.
And Metz will inbound the basketball, finds Javier underneath, and he puts it in as Bryce Black lost his footing, and Javier takes advantage. Here's Bryce Harmon at the point, gets it off to Stubler, back to Harmon, thinks about a deep three, no shot as he gets it to Stubler, and they're playing catch out at the point. Stubler settles it, looking for somebody to get open, back to Harmon, blanketed by Wesley Murray. The Eagles are playing at the three-point line, daring the Mustangs to drive to the basket, and so far they haven't really chosen to drive to the hoop.
Nah, but, their offensive play has been pretty successful. I mean, it's stayed relatively close. Thanks to Reading Alloys. Appreciate their underwriting of our BCTV broadcast. Lots of great jobs available out at Reading Alloys. Call 610-693-5822. And thanks to Alvernia University, this program is not possible with all the support from Alvernia University and the Vern Sports Network. Thank you so much.
One minute, 56 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. Exeter 18, Mifflin 16. James Hine and Bruce Badgley here with you at Exeter High School, bringing you tonight's action not only on llhoops.com, but also on BCTV for the first time. As here come the Mustang across half court. And the camera on Stewart will have the basketball, looking for the open man. Rohrbach with the interception, free lane to the hoop. Oh! A nice play by Harmon.
Oh! You know, that's great that, you know, that they followed the basket, they didn't give up. That's good fundamental basketball.
Wesley Murray cleans it up for the Eagles, as the intensity has picked up after that interception. The Eagles defense looking a little bit stronger, and they were very strong before that play. As Stubler has the basketball, gets it over to Bryce Black. Bryce Black tries to drive the lane, loses the handle, but gets it off to Harmon, and they get it back out to settle the basketball. Cameron Stewart now down to the corner to Bryce Black. Another pass almost knocked away by Rohrbach, and Harmon handles it and gets it back to Stewart. Harmon drives the lane, loses the basketball, recovers, and puts it in for two. Rohrbach with good defense, overplayed a little bit, and Harmon took advantage.
Yeah, I tell you what, every pass on both sides here, Exeter and Mifflin, is being contested. Really good defensive effort by both teams so far.
A very quick first half here as we have 25 seconds remaining. Exeter with the basketball. Anthony Wise trapped here by Mifflin. Gets it to Rohrbach at the foul line, who tries to hit Wesley Murray, breaking to the basket along the baseline, and it's incomplete. And 18 seconds here, and we'll see what Mifflin can do.
Yeah, we'll see. I really thought that they were going to work for the last shot there, but we'll see what Governor Mifflin does.
Stubler into Bryce Black. 20-18 the score. Mifflin looking to at least tie here or take the lead with a three-point shot. 6 seconds. Bryce Black drives the lane. The layup no good, too strong, as Harmon tries to get it up, and it's blocked there by Alex Javier. And we head to halftime with the score: Exeter 20, Mifflin 18.
Yeah, like I was saying, you know, the whole half there, both teams, really solid defense, really solid offensive movement, not a lot of turnovers, you know. Really, there weren't a lot of free throw attempts either, but, you know, 2-point game going into halftime. Boy, you couldn't ask for a better first half, James.
Very good first half by both teams. So we'll break here. But it looks like a 10-minute break that we'll have before we start the second half. Something that we've seen at the other two games that we covered, Bruce. The first half kind of slow, and then the second half really picks up. And we go in to develop a strategy on how to counter what's going on and then attack the other team.
Yeah, it's, you know, I expect the same, you know, this game as well. So we'll show some of our supporters, take a little break, and we'll be back in a few. Thanks for watching.
Welcome back to BCTV and LLHoops.com. I'm James Hine alongside Bruce Badgley, bringing you tonight's action from Exeter High School. We got a nice little halftime show here. We had some half-court shots by the students, and nobody made it, but it was a good thing to watch, just the fans interacting and getting out there on the court to participate in a half-court shootout as we wind down here from a minute before we get underway in the second half. A great first half, each team feeling each other out and kind of trying to figure out what they want to do here in the second half, and we look forward to a close battle down to the end.
Yeah, balanced scoring on both sides in the first half. Both teams playing, pressure defense and running very patient offensive sets. That's kept the game close. It's kept the game fast. We talked about the fact that this game just motored right through halftime there. That's because we had a very clean first half, not a lot of fouls, not a lot of turnovers. Both of these teams, though early in the year, are kind of settling in to a nice flow to this game. And, let's look forward to that the second half as well.
As we have some student athletes being honored here before we get underway in the second half, the score is Exeter 20, Governor Mifflin 18. As Coach Kyle Conrad, Bruce, you mentioned at halftime, it's his first year, and the offense is following his guidance and running the offense the way that he wants it to be run, find a good shot, and play solid defense.
Yeah, clearly the team is totally bought in, not only on the offensive end with very patient half-court sets, but showed, some good full-court pressure. On the defensive side, 94 feet, pressure in the half-court, and, don't take anything away from Exeter. They handled a lot of that pressure. They forced a lot of action inside, and, we're able to get some, easy baskets out of some good interior passing as well. I mean, Alex Xavier, Anthony Wise, they seem to be, moving the basketball there. But Joe Rohrbach had a really nice half as well. So going to be interested to see how this, all plays out, in this first of their, Section 1, games. First of this round robin that will determine, who's going to qualify for the county tournament and, getting the points to be able to make a district run too. I mean, so there's a lot on the line on this game, and clearly both teams have a lot to prove, and it shows out there on the court. They're really playing hard.
As the teams break and head to the court for the start of the second half, the starting five is the same for each team as the game started, and it will be Jason Metz to inbound the basketball for Exeter. He gets it into Anthony Wise, who's controlled the game for the Eagles from the point. Wise gets it off to Alex Xavier, and we're underway here at Exeter High School. Wise dribbles around, gets it out to Wesley Murray for three, and he's got it.
Wow, I mean, what a way to open the half. That was really his first three-point attempt of the night, and he drops it.
And we'll see how Mifflin responds as they bring the ball up court. Nick Whitman gets it to Josh Clare. He gets it around to Bryce Stubler. And underneath, Josh Clare gets away from Wesley Murray, and he puts it in for two. Beautiful play off the basketball by Josh Clare. And we have a 23-20 ball game. Here comes Wise back up the court for the Eagles. He gets it off to Metz, covered by Stubler. And here comes Harmon to close on the trap. He gets it into the corner to Joe Rohrbach. Wise cuts to the basket. First attempt, no good. Fighting for his own rebound. Josh Clare there as well. And we're going to have a jump ball.
Yeah, Clare playing really hard inside. He got a piece of that shot, went down on the floor after the ball, and it goes over to Mifflin. Great play.
Josh Clare gets it into Stubler, and he brings it across half court for the Mustangs. Bryce Black now with the basketball, going up against Jason Metz. He gets it back to Stubler. Anthony Wise plays off as the ball goes to Bryce Harmon. He tries to drive to the basket, but he's blocked off there by Alex Javier. Josh Clare now driving to the lane. He gets it out to Whitman, and Whitman puts it in for two. A nice jump shot there.
I tell you what, this is you got to love this game. Back and forth, tight ball game, two rivals going at it. This is fun.
Here comes Wise driving the lane, finds Rohrbach, blocked by Clare, and then the putback by the Eagles, and they take a 25-22 lead. And Stubler looking for an open man, goes under the basket to Clare. He gets tied up underneath by Alex Javier. It'll be a jump ball, and this one will go to Exeter.
Yeah, I tell you what, both teams just playing really tough underneath there. Alex Javier, the smart play, tying him up underneath.
And Alex Javier gets the inbounds pass and gets it right back to Anthony Wise. He's the quarterback of this Exeter offense as Javier drives to the lane, pulls up. The jumper, no good. Underneath, the ball's loose. Rohrbach after it, and the ball goes out of bounds off of Rohrbach, and it'll be Mustangs basketball.
Yeah, look at the hustle on those guys. 50-50 ball. Guys diving on the floor. Love it. Love it.
As here comes Stubler up the court. Picks up his dribble, gets it over to Bryce Black. Back to Stubler. Back to Bryce Black. Into Clare, dribbles around, gets it to the corner. As Harmon dribbles around. And here comes Whitman, pump fake, goes up, off the backboard, no good, gets his own rebound, back up again, and he puts it in.
Boy, I tell you, lunch pail guys underneath there working hard for every shot.
There's just another example of this extreme effort each team's putting forth. It's calm and cool when they come down across half court, and then as soon as that ball's free, everybody's jumping on it. We have a foul here. We'll see who it's on. That's on Nick Whitman. That's his first foul.
A lot of bumping and grinding going on away from the ball. These teams are really playing hard.
As Metz to inbound the basketball, gets it out to Wesley Murray, and he gets it to Rohrbach. And Rohrbach calls out a play. He gets it off to Alex Javier. Into the corner to Murray. Murray back to Rohrbach. As they have a little bit of a triangle there going on with the passing, and Javier brings it out. A long three, and he got it. Nothing but net.
That's his wheelhouse. That set shot, three-pointer. Boy, Alex Javier, that's what he's known for.
He's got a shot that hit nothing but net, and then a bank shot off the backboard for three earlier in the game. As Mifflin will look to respond. The score 28-24 in favor of Exeter. Whitman now with the basketball for the Mustangs. He gets it off to Harmon. Harmon loses the basketball as Rohrbach stuck his hand in there to knock it free. And Bryce Black now goes up against Metz. Underneath into Clare. Clare with a tough shot. Good effort, no good. Rebounded by Alex Javier, and he's tripped from behind by Bryce Harmon.
Yeah, hard work in there by Clare. Couldn't get it to fall, but I believe if Exeter makes this basket, that'll be the biggest lead by either team of the night. It's 4 now, 28-24 in favor of Exeter, but I don't think anybody's had a 6-point lead yet tonight.
It has been a close back and forth game as the inbounds pass comes to Anthony Wise, knocked away by Stubler, and they say it's off Wise, and it'll be Mifflin basketball. Josh Clare gets a rest as Cameron Stewart checks back in for the Mustangs. And the Mifflin faithful start to get into the game a little bit as Harmon takes a three, in and out. Rebounded by Anthony Wise. He's tied up, and it's a foul here on Bryce Black.
Yeah, things are heating up now, gang. You gotta love it. Everybody going after every rebound, loose ball, every shot contested, every pass contested. Both teams out there playing a really good quality basketball.
The foul was actually on Nick Whitman, his second of the night, as here comes some pressure from the Mustangs. Metz with the basketball, gets it over to Wise. Wise needs to get it across court, And he gets it to Metz as Murray's hopping across court, but the Mets couldn't get the pass off as Wise drives the lane, gets a shot up. It's good, and the foul.
Great drive. Got the defender in the air, put it down. They're up 6, looking to go 7 in front.
The foul again on Nick Whitman. That'll be his 3rd foul of the night. And Wise will shoot 1 to try to complete the 3-point play. There's a 6-point lead, Bruce, 30-24. 3 minutes and 13 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. As Wise puts it in for a 7-point lead in favor of the Eagles.
I wouldn't say that this is a key possession this early in the game, but it's sure important.
As Harmon now with the basketball gets it off to Whitman. He gets it off to Bryce Black, who pushes off a little bit but gets away with it, shoots the jumper, and buries it.
Oh, boy. That was a big one.
That will stop the bleeding a little bit as they creep within 5 points. Wise with some nice handles to get across half court. Javier with a 3, no good. Murray's there to clean it up but can't put it home. Loose basketball, and we have a foul.
Boy, a lot of golden opportunities there by Exeter, but Mifflin came away with garbage underneath and then drew the foul.
A foul on Jason Metz. And checking into the game for the Eagles, Kyle Holmes will re-enter, and Jacob Gelvin will make his first appearance for Mifflin.
Appreciate the love, BCTV. Thank you.
As it gets loud in here, Bruce, this is what we like. And here's Black from in and out as Murray comes down with the rebound, throws it to Wise. He can't handle it, just out of his reach, and it'll remain with Mifflin.
Boy, that's a bit painful. They get the turnover and then throw it away trying to get it up court. But Mifflin, down 31-26 here. There's 2:16 until left in the quarter. Sure like to see them get another, good look at the basket, and let's see what they can do with it.
Joe Rohrbach checks back in for the Eagles, and making his first appearance tonight, Daniel Magwood, as Stubler brings the ball across for the Mustangs. The first pass to Jacob Gelvin, off the hands, out of bounds. It'll be a turnover heading to Exeter.
Yeah, he just came into the game, was kind of looking away and not concentrating on the pass, unfortunately.
And Stubler putting some pressure on Wise as he brings the ball up the court.
Those two are having a battle out there, Stubler on Wise. It's been a lot of fun to watch.
Here comes Kyle Holmes driving the lane, and great defense by Magwood. Holmes with a great effort to get the ball back. Here comes David Heiser. He saves it, gets it out to Anthony Wise. Fakes the shot, gets it underneath to David Heiser. He puts it in for 2.
Wow, a little chaos there, and Exeter took advantage.
Here comes Mifflin up court very quickly, and Bryce Black will pull it out and get it settled with Bryce Stubler. Here comes the student section for Exeter. As it's getting loud in here, Bruce.
Well, Stubler, nails it! That'll quiet him a little bit and a timeout. Wow! That brought it back down to 4. Got a minute 14 left here in the 3rd quarter. We want to thank Daryl Tillman, Remax of Reading, for the support of this broadcast. Hopefully you fans are enjoying this broadcast. Think of Daryl Tillman for all your real estate needs. Reading Alloys. They underwrite this broadcast here on BCTV. Thank you so very much. A lot of great jobs out there at Reading Alloys. Call 610-693-5822 and ask for Alexia. Alvernia University, thank you very much. They're the ones producing this broadcast. Show them the love, gang. Thank you very much, Alvernia.
And we get set for more action here in the third quarter. 1 minute, 14 seconds remaining. A 4-point lead for Exeter, 33-29. And it will be Exeter basketball to start here after the timeout. Holmes to inbound the pass, gets it to Joe Rohrbach. Magwood playing defense, and it's a kick ball, and it will remain with Exeter.
Well, Mifflin, pressure defense now. They're down 4, minute 12. Let's see if they can, get a turnover.
And Kyle Holmes gets it to Joe Rohrbach. David Heiser cutting to the basket. Rohrbach's pass just a little too long. A good look, though, and the ball goes out of bounds off Stubler. It'll remain Exeter basketball. Holmes will head back out of bounds to get the pass in. And we'll see if Exeter can get some points here on this possession to extend their lead. Alex Javier now with the basketball, gets it out to Matt David Heiser, who settles and calls the play. As here comes Javier driving the lane, and a foul called.
Wow, away from the ball. I've been saying all night long, there's been a lot of bumping and grinding away from the ball, and they finally called one.
That foul will be on Bryce Black, his second of the night. As Holmes inbounds it to Rohrbach, he gets it over to David Heiser, and David Heiser out to Holmes. Holmes backs up, drives the lane. He's met by Cameron Stewart, and we have a hold. It'll be a foul on Stewart. And
that was the right idea, penetrating there, and he did draw the foul. A few more fouls here this half than the first.
Here comes Holmes again to inbound the basketball. He has Rohrbach cutting to the hoop. Couldn't find him as the ball comes into Anthony Wise. And we have a timeout by the Eagles to avoid a turnover.
Well, a smart move there, but, in this type of close game, those timeouts are going to be very valuable, and, we'll see how that, might come back to haunt them, down the stretch.
.39 seconds remain here in the third quarter. Score 33-29 in favor of Exeter.
I'm so very glad, that we we made it on BCTV tonight. It's always an adventure trying to get on the air if you follow us on football. But thanks to BCTV for all of your support in this venture, too. We can't thank you guys enough.
Alex Javier to inbound the basketball for the Eagles. Tries to knock it off of Stubler, but Stubler steals it away, loses the handle on the other end of the court. Rohrbach pushes it up court. Here comes Javier, blocked away by Cameron Stewart, and he gets a technical for taunting.
Wow, I know you're happy about that, but, you got to play with poise out there. Both of these teams, it's very emotionally charged, and, you hate to see that following such a great play. But these fans are really getting into it. I think we're getting into it, too. Pretty intense.
You can feel the electric going around the gym as we come here to a close in the third quarter. I'm excited to see what the fourth quarter has in store as Javier misses his first free throw and buries the second. So it'll be Exeter basketball, 28 seconds left, and back into the game for Mifflin comes Josh Clare. He relieves Cameron Stewart, who just picked up the technical foul. Anthony Wise now handling the basketball for the Eagles. Covered tight here by Stubler, as here comes Matt David Heiser. Stubler takes him, and David Heiser gets it off to Javier, back to David Heiser, into the corner to Holmes. Holmes travels.
Wow, that's that pressure defense. Those guys are a little skittish with all that pressure on them, and it caused a turnover. That's the design.
Bryce Black gets it into Bryce Stubler, and here come the Mustangs. Josh Clare dishes off to Bryce Black for three. No good at the buzzer.
Very interesting quarter. Exeter's kind of at least put a little space between them and Mifflin, but it's going to be a lot of fun down the stretch, that's for sure. Thanks to Daryl Tillman, Remax of Reading, your Scholastic Sports Realtor. Thank you for supporting this broadcast. Fans, support Daryl and with all your real estate needs. And thank you to Reading Alloys for underwriting this broadcast on BCTV. And let's not forget the flagship station, llhoops.com. We've got live streaming games all throughout the month of January upcoming and tomorrow night as well. Check out llhoops.com/streaming.
Here we go, Bruce. The final 8 minutes. A 5-point lead for Exeter, 34-29. We're going to go down to the wire here, hopefully, and see if Mifflin can get this lead cut down here on this possession. As Bryce Black now with the basketball gets it off to Bryce Harmon. He gets it off to Nick Whitman, and Whitman gets it back to Bryce Harmon. Covered by Rohrbach on the play. Harmon thinks about it, tries to get it in to Clare, can't do it, and the ball goes back around the perimeter. Bryce Black now with the basketball, gets it to Whitman. Here we come again around the perimeter as Bryce Black trying to post up underneath, couldn't get open. And Stubler will settle the basketball. Josh Clare now with the ball, gets it off to Stubler. The ball goes out of bounds off the hands of Bryce Black. It'll be Exeter basketball.
Yeah, never a good time for a turnover, but that really wasn't a good time there for Mifflin.
We have a little battle between the student sections now, Bruce. It's getting loud just in time as we approach 7 minutes remaining in the ball game.
What did you say? I didn't hear what you said.
Anthony Wise gets it off to Alex Javier. Soft pass into Rohrbach, but he handles it, gets it back to Javier. The ball goes in and out. Rohrbach with the rebound, he puts it back.
Rohrbach's played a really solid game, both inside and outside tonight.
He's done a little bit of everything for the Eagles. As Mifflin looks to answer on this possession. Stubler hits a cutting Bryce Black, loses his footing, goes down, and the ball goes out of bounds. It'll be Exeter basketball.
Exeter got an opportunity here to really put some distance.
Exeter stretched it out here to a 7-point lead as Anthony Wise pushes the ball up court to Jason Metz. Metz holds the ball, drives the lane, gets it out to Rohrbach for a jumper off the front of the rim. The ball's loose. Here comes Stubler down the court for the Mustangs. He gets it off to Bryce Harmon, who settles it, tries to find an open shot, looks underneath to Josh Clare, who can't handle it. Recovered by Jason Metz, and here comes Exeter. Anthony Wise up the court. Taking his time getting it across half court, finds Alex Javier. And Exeter is not in a hurry. They're going to use as much clock as they can, find a good shot, and try to extend the lead.
That's exactly what they should be doing now. It's almost a game of keep away.
Here comes Wise. And we have a charge.
Oh, wow. Boy, good position there by Mifflin underneath. Wise has got to go in there a little bit more under control.
Looked like he might have gotten tripped up by Stubler on his way in. Some incidental contact and might have led to him not getting that shot off sooner before he ran into Josh Clare. As Mifflin now with the basketball. Bryce Harmon driving the baseline, puts it up short, and it goes out of bounds off Josh Clare. And the referee steps in, and he's got a foul here on Joe Rohrbach, so it'll remain with Mifflin.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a good call. Looked like he went through him to the ball.
Stubler gets it into Bryce Black. He finds Josh Clare underneath, and there's Rohrbach again.
Wow.
Rohrbach with another stellar defensive play for the Eagles, and a timeout now on the court.
Yeah, nice timeout there. Up 7, making sure the team's on the same page. Really, a really good timeout there. And we'll keep it right here. You know, it's going to be interesting to see what, Mifflin's going to be able to do here. They're not in the bonus, Exeter's not in the bonus yet. So Mifflin's got fouls to give. And, I think that they're going to have to try a little bit more half-court pressure defense to force the action. But as I said just a few moments ago, Exeter up 7, 5:25 to go. It's really a game to keep away at this point.
I'm looking for Exeter here to go back to what they did in the first half and just execute. That's what they did. They found they were patient, passing the ball around, waiting for that open shot, and taking advantage of guys cutting to the basket. And that's what they need to do here to close this game out. 5 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in Exeter basketball. Wise will handle. He gets it back to Alex Javier, and here we go. It's patience here by the Eagles.
Yeah, they pulled the offense out front, and stolen by Mifflin, by Black. Oh,
and stolen right back by Javier. He gets it off to Wise, driving the basket, can't lay it in. Stubler with the defense, and Black with the rebound, and he'll bring it up court for the Mustangs. Now with the ball, Josh Clare. He gets it off to Nick Whitman, to Bryce Stubler. He'll dribble around. There's Bryce Harmon on the far side of the court. He drives the lane, gives up the basketball. Loose ball recovered by Bryce Black, and the Mustangs reset.
Yeah, Exeter's contesting everything, even on the perimeter.
Here's Bryce Harmon for 3. No good. Rebound by Rohrbach. He's fouled on the play by Nick Whitman.
Yeah, there's Rohrbach again, hitting the defensive board. Stole the ball, played tough inside, hitting three-pointers. He's had a very good game so far.
He'll step to the line to shoot 1-1 for Exeter, looking to extend that lead. Cameron Stewart enters the game for the Mustangs after getting a rest, after taking that technical foul earlier in the second half. He gets the rebound on the front end of the 1-1, and here comes Governor Mifflin. Bryce Black now with the basketball, taking on Jason Metz. Black steps back behind the three-point line, dishes it off to Cameron Stewart, who gets it back to Stubler. Stubler around, finds Stewart on the other side of the court now, and he finds Bryce Black, again squared up by Jason Metz. Now Stubler with the ball at the point. He finds Harmon, Bryce Harmon with the basketball up against Joe Rohrbach. Back to Stubler. The Mifflin Mustangs are being patient as well, but they might have to pick up the intensity here as we get closer and closer to the end of the game.
You gotta, if it's got that kind of ending, it's great, but you're right, James. They've got to pick up the pace a little bit, either offensively or defensively.
And here comes the pressure from the Mustangs as they're trying to force the hand of the Eagles. Javier finds a cutting Murray underneath. He can't put it in. Rebounded by Jason Metz, and we have a jump ball. Possession arrow points to Exeter, and they'll maintain.
I'm surprised that Exeter continues to just aggressively attack the basket, but each time they've almost turned it over.
Wesley Murray gets the inbound pass as Wise finds a cutting Jason Metz. He can't finish. Rebounded by Josh Clare, and Cameron Stewart will bring the ball up for the Mustangs. He gets it off to Stubler underneath to Bryce Black. Covered by Metz. There's Josh Clare. He's fouled from behind by Alex Javier.
Beautiful play inside. Clare cut to the basket, and they're making him earn it, but Mifflin trying to pound their way back into this game.
Important, Bruce, are the free throws, and here we go. Under 3 minutes to play, 36-31 in favor of Exeter. Josh Clare at the line. He's got the first free throw. And we'll see if he can cut this lead down to 3. One possession game if he makes it. And he does. So things get interesting once again.
What a way to start our relationship with BCTV with a great game like this. 3-point game, just under 3 minutes to go.
Rohrbach now with the basketball, taking on Harmon. Ball goes now to Alex Javier. He gets it out to Wesley Murray for 3. Too strong. Rebounded by Harmon. And he gets the ball to Stubler.
I'm just very surprised that Exeter keeps attacking the basket as aggressively as they have. Here's Claire, drives.
Claire can't finish. Loose ball goes off the head of Bryce Black. Rebounded by Wise. Gets it up to Javier. Javier can't finish the layup, and it's rebounded by Josh Clare, and here come the Mustangs. As the pace picks up here as the game comes to a close, Cameron Stewart can't finish. Gets his own rebound, goes up, and he's fouled on the play by Murray.
Well, it's exciting because it's up and down, but it's a little bit tough watching these guys miss wide open layups.
It's almost like they feel like they're going to be pressured and tense up maybe when they're going to finish. And
they're not going up strong. They're going up tentatively. They're expecting to be fouled. They got to go after it.
There hasn't been much space to operate, which makes sense why they're not expecting to have the room they have to finish the play. As Stewart hits his first free throw.
Oh, 36-34. Here we go.
2 minutes, 12 seconds in the fourth quarter. The Exeter student section starts banging their feet on the stands as Stewart will take his second free throw, looking to make it a 1-point game. It's no good. Rebound by Wesley Murray. He gets it off to Wise. Wise brings it quickly across half court. Dishes off to Alex Javier. He's fouled on the play. And it looks like it's going to be Bryce Stubler with the foul.
Well, good foul, but not good defense. I mean, Mifflin just didn't get back fast enough on that play.
That's the second time the Eagles beat the Mustangs back up the court after a missed free throw. And Javier will take his shot, and that's no good. So we stay put with a 2-point game. It'll be no worse than a 3-point game here after this, barring a rebound by the Eagles. Javier's shot is good, nothing but net. As Josh Clare inbounds it to Harmon. Harmon gets it to Stubler. And Joe Rohrbach there again, putting the pressure on, trying to steal the ball away. Goes out of bounds, but we'll see if he has something to say about this finish.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Rohrbach's just played one whale of a game, but Mifflin, very valuable possession here.
Inbounds pass goes to Stewart, back to Clare. Clare settles, gets it to Stewart, far side of the court from where Bruce and I are sitting. And Mifflin looking for a good shot as Clare drives the lane and gets it to go.
He just put his head down and bowled his way to the basket there.
1-point ball game, 37-36. Exeter leads. 1 minute, 35 seconds remaining. Wise with a beautiful spin move. Gets it to Rohrbach. Gets it back to Murray, and it goes back out to the point to Wise.
Mifflin still has fouls to give before before Exeter gets in the bonus. Rohrbach, go! And a timeout for Mifflin. Wow, great play there by Stewart.
Great timeout taken by Coach Conrad there to keep that possession. A very important possession here with 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining.
Oh, I'll tell you what, this is what's so fun about high school basketball. And, I expect this throughout Berks County this year. A lot of evenly matched teams going to fight it out. And we're so very happy to be able to bring you these games this year. Appreciate everybody, sticking with us on LL Hoops, BCTV, and tell your friends about it, gang. We're going to have a lot of great basketball throughout the year.
As we look to come out here of the full timeout taken by Governor Mifflin. A 1-point lead for the Eagles of Exeter. A great basketball game so far, low scoring, very under control. It's gotten a little crazy here at the end, which is expected when you're fighting to win the basketball game. 9 fouls for Governor Mifflin and 5 fouls for the Exeter Eagles. It'll be Mifflin basketball. Stubler to inbounds it to Josh Clare, and we're underway. 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining. Buckle up, folks. Here we go to the finish line. Josh Clare with the basketball, hands it off to Stubler. He gets it to Bryce Black. Black goes around the perimeter, and we have a foul called. It's going to be on Josh Clare for a blocking foul. And Jason Metz will inbounds the ball for Exeter.
Oh, boy, that really hurts. Advantage Exeter now.
Especially coming out of a timeout. Very difficult to take. And here comes Javier with the basketball. Wesley Murray almost loses it, almost knocked away by Josh Clare. He gets it off to Anthony Wise, and the ball finds Alex Javier. Spin move, gets him into the lane, and he dishes off to Jacob Metz underneath to Wesley Murray. Can't finish, but he's fouled on the play. He'll shoot 2.
Well, it's kind of a jailbreak there at the free throw line, and he went to the hoop, got the ball. Thankfully, it was fouled. He can't let him just lay it in. So we'll see what he can do here. Back to the proverbial free throw shooting contest.
Very important free throws. 39 seconds remaining. That's the 4th foul on Cameron Stewart.
Incredible.
The first attempt, no good. So the best they can do for Exeter here is take a 2-point lead, and he's got it. 38-36. Here comes Stubler for Mifflin. He gets it up to Bryce Black for 3. He's got it!
Oh, my God! Mifflin up! 39-38. Oh!
That's the first lead of the second half for the Mustangs.
I think it's the first lead of the game, maybe.
As Exeter under pressure here with 16 seconds remaining. Alex Javier with the basketball. Taking on Bryce Black, drives the lane, tries to dish it off to Jason Metz. He loses the handle. Stubler has the loose ball, and he's fouled by Anthony Wise on the play. Correction, he's fouled by Joe Rohrbach.
Oh, my God, Bryce Black with ice in his veins, making that 3. Mifflin's got to get the ball inbounds now.
It hurts a little bit here, Bruce, not being in the bonus, as the foul doesn't send Mifflin to the free throw line. So Mifflin will inbound the basketball with 7 seconds remaining with a 1-point lead, 39-38.
Well, I tell you what, I'd sure like to know whether Mifflin had the lead throughout the game, because I don't think they've led until now. 7.9 seconds left. They got to get the ball in bounds, and you got to believe that there's going to be a quick foul by Exeter if they do get it in bounds.
Looks like one more foul should put Mifflin into the bonus to shoot some free throws and stop the clock. It's going to be down to the final possession, Bruce.
Well, I think that's what we wanted, and glad you fans have followed along with us on this great game.
What a way to kick off our telecast on BCTV. As the inbounds pass comes to Bryce Black. He's swarmed by Eagles. Jason Metz can't finish it as Stubler just throws it up in the air, and that's the ball game.
And that is the ball game. Unbelievable. Wow, I can't believe Exeter nearly stole the ball. Well, they did steal the ball under the basket. Javier tried to lay it in. It was missed. Stubler grabbed the ball. I don't know why he just flipped it up in the air like he did, but it got the job done. It got the victory for Mifflin in this game. Unbelievable ending here as Mifflin comes away with the win, 39-38. And once again, I think it's everybody's trying for a world record to shut the scoreboard off as fast as they can after the game. So I'm glad we remembered the score.
Bruce, they're just testing your memory. What a game here at Exeter High School. Couldn't ask for a better game to bring to you live on BCTV and LL Hoops. Again, the final score 39-38 in favor of Mifflin. A very heads-up play at the end of the ball game by Stubler for Mifflin to just throw it up into the rafters. Thankfully, it didn't hit anything to come down and allow Exeter to get a shot off at the end of the game. But exciting. Mifflin waiting till the very end to take their shot, take the lead, hold it here late after a series of events that could have had this game ending in any possibility.
Well, like I said, Exeter, I think, rather than holding the ball down the stretch, they were, aggressively attacking the basket and didn't have a lot of success. And that's really what got Mifflin back into the game. Mifflin was able to claw their way back in. They stayed patient on offense, working for good shots inside. You have to give Mifflin an enormous amount of credit for hanging tough and coming out with the W the way that they did.
A special thanks goes out to our producer, Louis Galan, our production specialist, Dylan Bennett, and our cameraman, Nick Fucci. Also, a very special thank you to BCTV for covering tonight's action, as well as LL Hoops. We look to bring you more games here in the future. Keep your eyes tuned to @Badgley Bruce and @TheRealHind57 for updates on the schedule. And Bruce, what a way to get kicked off on BCTV.
Yeah, I tell you what, our next game is January the 10th. I believe it's Reading High and Muhlenberg on BCTV. But we'll have other games. We're going to take a break over the holidays. LL Hoops is going to have some action tomorrow night. It's going to be Cedar Crest at Warwick, and that'll be streaming live on llhoops.com. And then we'll have streaming games peppered in amongst our BCTV games, in the month of January. I know we've got Reading High and Muhlenberg, Reading High and Exeter, and Reading High and Wilson. So going to have some exciting action down the stretch. And, we hope the fans liked our broadcast tonight and will, stick with us throughout this basketball season. It's new here for Berks County, but we hope everybody enjoys it.
For Bruce Badgley, I'm James Hine, thanking you all for tuning in to tonight's action on BCTV and llhoops.com. Have a great night, folks.